I just realized that I didn't have audio. So that's fixed. Good morning. It's 9 o'clock, November 15th, 2023 on a Wednesday morning. And yeah, so let's get going here. What do we got to talk about? Go into channel comments. Oops, that didn't come up. Oh, I know why. You know what? I did an update on my NVIDIA driver yesterday. And when I recorded a Beat Saber episode, if I could call it an episode, um, yeah, it lost my scene connection to my monitor. So that's what's going on there. I'm going to have to fix that. Live, unscripted, unrehearsed. So if I bring that up and then go to that particular source and change that source, let's try display one, see if that's the right thing. Yep, that's the right one. So there it's fixed. Fixed a mundo, and I see sluggishness in XSplit. I think today I will have time to try to troubleshoot that down and figure out what's going on. So here's chat message, not chat messages, comments, video comments. Let's see, make sure that you're not telling me anything wrong or something that's not working in chat. I see my spectrum analyzer is going. Now I'm going to stop talking for a moment and check on that background sine wave noise. Looks like it's there a little bit, not too bad. Are you hearing that sound in the background? Now there's Ken Stout in chat. So he says, I am here. I am not making an appearance and leaving, probably not paying attention, but I am here. Let's. Jim says that sound is barely noticeable. Let's come over here. Here's now I think I've still been pronouncing this as LM Kenster. I think he's told me it's I'm Kenster. But look at it. Look at this thing. Look at this thing here. I just, man, I'll tell you what. I was not present at all. This is from Ken. I was not present at all for the live stream. My buddy called. He's only got one, right? He said, my buddy, not one of my buddies, not a friend. He's only got one buddy. For the live stream, my buddy called and asked if I could play golf at noon. Of course, I jumped at that. Currently, I am watching it though. So when he sent that message, he's watching it. Now, this isn't the really troubling comment from Ken Stout. It's the next one. So he probably put this comment in before he had gotten very far along in the video. And then he says here, oh, sure, I miss one day and get tossed under the bus. Just one day, geez. I object. I object to this characterization in here. And it's mainly because of this word right here, tossed. That word, it is just way too cutesy and simple and whimsical. I'm looking for something with more grit and anger and abusiveness. Oh, sure, I miss one day and you throw me under the bus. That's more appropriate, don't you think? For those who don't know, this is Ken and I just, we take jabs at one another. All in good fun, but not cute. Listen, no, not cute. Let's see, what else did I have anything else on that? I don't think so. Then Josh Kinder already updated my computer that Ken did for me, the computer that Ken built for him, and did my aunt's computer and did the computer that my cousin Alex got for me. Is he calling Alex Cheek his cousin? I suppose so. So this is just all our community bantering back and forth with each other, and Josh letting us know he did his Windows updates from yesterday, Windows Update Tuesday yesterday. I haven't seen either Big Beast build or Baby Bill baby bill speed, baby bead, bill bead, baby bead, rubber baby buggy bumpers. Baby beast. There is an update showing over there. Let's see if my baby beast shows up. Yeah, there you're seeing baby beast screen. Looks much the same because I had it on the same screen, I guess. But down here, I'm using baby beast mouse. I've got a yellow dot, meaning it is ready for a restart. And if I turn off my picture-in-picture over there, it says restart now. I've got some stuff open. I'll go right-click on the Google Chrome icon on the taskbar. I'll just right-click on these other things and then click restart now. So it'll actually restart during the course of this live stream. And let's see some more of that. You're 2% there. Please keep your computer on. I can turn my picture-in-picture back on. And then come back to the chat room. Pop out chat. I do have some other tabs opened up on my browser for things that I had lined up for yesterday that I did not get to. 9% there. All right. So Alice says hello all. And I think, let's see, Bobby Warren actually came in with the first chat message last evening, but it doesn't show up anymore. Let's see if I change to live chat. Will it show up? Nope. Let's see if I go, how quickly is my buttons responding? It's not as bad as it has been recently. Let's see if I get over here in the YouTube studio. Nope, Bobby Warren's completely gone, lost. Persona non grata as far as the chat room is concerned, or what's still showing on chat. John Williams, good morning. Martin Hogg. Yeah, John's the one that we restored yesterday due to good standing. First made him an approved user and then a moderator. Martin Hogg, good evening from Scotland where it's 6 degrees and wet. He's not happy about that. James Disher from Alabama. Josh Kinder's here. Nick Poverman, I found a wooden shoe in my toilet today. It was clogged. Here we got 96% on Baby Beast when it finally shows up to you guys, you folks. Do I dare stick it out and watch that go to 100%? Does anybody care? I doubt it. Then Ken Stout got his message here. I am here, not making an appearance, leaving, probably not paying attention, but I am here. Jim, barely noticeable with the hiss in the background or sine wave, whatever we can call it. Some hellos, thrown, pushed as other words instead of tossed. Plenty of abuse available on the internet. Is berated a better word? So let's see. How would that be for? Let's get back to the right place here to try berated. So let's try the word berated there. Oh, sure, I miss one day and I get berated under the bus. Just one day, geez. You know what? I guess that fits better than I thought it would. English, please. Richard Rogers. Seldon Ball, my Windows 10 computer updates are waiting for me to tell them to install. Tell them forcefully. Be adamant about it. Because Adamant, on the YouTube show Adamant, he would want you to be forceful. Tell them. Tell your computer to install those updates. Doggone it. Richard Rogers, Ken Stout, Richard Rogers, good morning. Well, good afternoon. I just woke up. Some hellos between people claiming I'm here. Lawn Dog Alice, John Williams, thanks for throwing me under the bus. Yeah, he was commenting about the chat room saying that approved users, something like that, whatever it says. Here it is, chat as an approved user. But you can only chat as an approved user, and his chat messages were actually coming in. So I said, well, John, if you want to be an approved user, I have to take away your moderator status. So I did that. And then it took a little while for us to get him configured as an approved user, and then we elevated him more to his current moderator status. Now, these things that I have lined up, these tabs, it was in relation to what we talked about a couple days ago. That it was in relation to what we talked about a couple days ago about SSDs and trim and all that stuff. And I was making a point that turned out to be a little bit incorrect, and people sent me in some links, and I went and read up again, and I've read through this stuff so many times, and it gets clearer and muddier and clearer and muddier. Because man, some of these wordings, I don't know if I can get to one of these that was just really crazy. Let's see. To program a NAND cell, voltage needs to be applied to the control gate, which allows electrons in the channel to overcome the threshold voltage of the first isolation layer and tunnel into the floating gate. When the floating gate is charged, data is effectively stored, and the cell's binary value is set to 0. Ken, could you explain that to me, please? Like I'm a 12-year-old. Ken Stout, could you clarify that for me? And then there's these others. Now I'm kind of making fun of it a little bit. I understand it better than what I'm letting on to, but I'm gonna talk about that a little bit. And then somebody had asked about Alan Malventano, and I said I don't know him, so I went and checked up a little bit on him, and I'm not quite sure that I'm not quite as. I mean, he's not a Bill Gates, he's not a Steve Jobs. Alan is the technical analyst at PC-Per, and his specialty is developing in-house testing and benchmark solutions. I've seen him doing some interviews on some other people's shows, but it's not really out front there giving a lot to the industry. So I don't doubt his expertise in storage media, and that's his bailiwick. But I'm not at all embarrassed that I didn't know who he was. Somebody seemed to be stunned that I didn't know who he was. I mean, that's probably makes him one of 30, 40,000 notable experts in the world. So here's wear leveling and dynamic versus static wear leveling, wear leveling versus trim, wear leveling versus garbage collecting. And this paragraph in here, wear leveling, on the other hand, is managed by the flash controller, not the operating system. Unlike trim, wear leveling only functions when data is being written to the SSD. Calling on the flash controller to identify the sets of blocks with the lowest PE cycle counts so data can be written to them. Okay, thank you. Yeah, and then here's some other stuff about garbage collecting. Oh, the reason why I bookmarked this one is because I do not like the way techtarget.com does this stuff. It's really abusive, I think. What is maybe that's a too aggressive word, but I guess I'm in a mean mood today, huh? What is garbage collection? Garbage collection is a memory recovery feature built into programming. Continue reading this article. If you want to continue reading this article after reading not even a complete sentence, right? ... It's not dot. It's not a complete sentence. You got to give them your email address. You have to agree to their terms of use. You have to agree to information being processed. And then there's a continue reading button. Then I thought, well, now wait a minute. This looks like it's clickable without putting in an address. Down here, continue reading about garbage collection. So there's no more content about it. So what happens if I click on that? It tells me you forgot to put. I can't go any further beyond this partial sentence. I think no. You have not given enough value for free to warrant me giving you my data, my info. No, sorry. And then Kingston Technology. See, you can get more information elsewhere. They don't have any exclusive information about whatever they were talking about. So no, they are on Target. Tech Target is on my blacklist. What is garbage collection? What is trim? I read through all these, and then I asked ChatGPT to give me a summary. So I said to ChatGPT, GPT. Explain the differences between wear leveling, trim, and garbage collection in SSD technology. I thought I did a pretty decent job. Wear leveling, trim, and garbage collection are three important concepts. Now, here that's calling it concepts. In the context of SSD solid-state drive technology, they are all related to the management of data and the longevity and performance of SSDs. Wear leveling, purpose. It's a technique used to distribute write and erase cycles evenly across the memory cells of an SSD. This is crucial because, not crucial as in the manufacturer of memory. This is crucial because flash memory, the type used in SSDs, has a limited number of program erase cycles before it can no longer reliably store data. Wear leveling ensures that all the memory cells in the SSD wear out at roughly the equal rate by spreading out write and erase operations. This prevents certain blocks of memory from being used more frequently than others, which would lead to premature failure of the specific blocks. Wear leveling is essential for extending for the lifespan of SSD and maintaining consistent performance over time. Now, I'm not going to go read through all of this into the video, but I will pause on each section of screen so that if somebody wants to go back and read over this, it's a nice summary. But the main reason why I went back and spent time on this is because I was making a point a couple of days ago that I eat my words. I am now eating my words about that. I have a bottle of Pepto-Bismol handy, so don't worry about that. I'm prepared, but I'm eating my words because I was saying something about that SSDs, the data stored in these cells, and it's an electrical charge, somewhat like a battery, and that charge can wear off over time. Well, I did find substantiation for that. That is true, but the place that was talking about that was like if you put an SSD or a thumb drive off into storage somewhere and it doesn't get any kind of recharge for a long period of time, that as short as a year, you might have some data loss, but then some of them may last for decades. So it was not the case that a charge has to be reapplied to a cell periodically to keep its data in place. That piece got a little bit muddled in my mind. So I officially, public environment, eat my words there a little bit, and feel that in reading through this again, my understanding is advanced a bit. It is totally irrelevant to the work that I do. So I'm not a storage technologist or theorologist. Theorologist? English, please. So for now, and to that point, I want to point out something, that the computer industry, technology industry, is so broad, so much to it, that somebody who is an absolute outstanding expert in his technical knowledge of drive technology and the other things that Alan is an expert in, I would lay odds that if he were to come follow me through my day of providing remote support to people or doing on-site support for end users, I would run circles around him, because that's not his gig. That's not what he does. And I've seen this over and over in technology and in IT, and particularly with IT technicians talking to each other. One brings up the subject of some kind of a server configuration, and the other is just baffled that this person doesn't understand that. And almost because this person has been in a work environment where they do that over and over and over and over, and they know it really, really well. This person over here is in a different area of tech. There are so many different things that you can do in IT, and it's a very, very different lifestyle. And I was just thinking about this morning, is my role in IT and what I've decided to do with my business, where I provide support to end users. I do not want employees. I tried that. Did not like it because it made me become management. I like working with end users. I like providing remote support. I like providing on-site support for the problems that end users come across. But that means I'm not quite as high in the expertise level over talking about the OSI 7 layer model. I've looked into it a few times here and there, and I feel like I'm reasonably competent, but I never need it for what I do in the portion of IT that I work in. Now, let's come back to chat because that covers everything that I had on those tabs. Let's come back up here. I see some people talking about Alan. And there certainly may be more about him. I know I only spent about 10, 15 minutes looking into him. Let's get to where I was. Where was I? Seldom Ball, my Windows 10 computer shows updates are waiting for me to install them. Oh, what happened with Baby Beast? I gotta go check in with Baby Beast. And it looks like Baby Beast has restarted. Put in my PIN code and it is up and running. And if I do Windows key, update space settings, and then click on update settings, we'll go look at update history and see if it was successfully installed or did it fail and roll back. So here's November 15th, cumulative update for .NET Framework, cumulative update for Windows 11 version 22H2. So that was the cumulative update for November, successfully installed. Happy days, happy days. Yeah, let's see. Hellos between the peoples. Ken, good morning. Well, afternoon, I just woke up. That's these teenagers. They just stay in bed, lose half of the day waking up in the afternoon. I remember my dad coming to wake me up when I was a teenager in the afternoon. And that wasn't like Ken Stout, where Ken Stout's up at night driving Miss Daisy around or whatever else that he's doing. And no, as a teenager, man, I go to bed at 10 or 11 o'clock, whatever it was, and I could sleep to 2 or 3 in the afternoon. There's Lawn Dog Alice. John Williams, thanks for throwing me under the bus. I already read this part. Remove the under the bus. Oh, instead of under the bus with that other word that he used. Ken Sal, by the way, you're getting better at understanding comments on things you said 10 minutes ago. Thank you, Ken. This is Ken patting me on my shoulder saying, good boy, you're doing better. Don't be so sad. You're doing better. He was with PC Per years ago. He's now with Souldyne now. Yes, I did see that. I did see that. I didn't rememberize his whole path. I think somebody in chat said he's with Souldyne. Ken Stout, can you show my photo and bio? Please, sure. Please reread a little slower. Reread what? A little slower. That was so long ago. When he put this in chat, I don't know. What does he want me to reread a little slower? Would that be back here on this? Oh no, he's wanting me to reread all that SSD stuff slower, so that he could understand it better. Larry Wood says hello. On Doug, the information you read on Alan is quite old. Actually, at a bare minimum, 5 to 7 years. Alan went to work for Intel, but he doesn't work there at the moment, if I recall correctly. Yes, I did see that, and frankly, I don't care. And I saw an interview, a couple interviews that he was doing on YouTube shows. I didn't prepare how I was going to show that. When I first came across that one that I showed you, I bookmarked it and then I went on further. But yeah, so I'm sorry, it's not important. I'm sure he is worth bowing down to as far as his knowledge in the areas that he is knowledgeable about. But he's not a Bill Gates. He's not a Steve Jobs. He's not somebody that I'm embarrassed to not have known who he was. When to mute, NAND, not, and. Yes, I did come across that. That NAND, what that stands for is the N is not, and not and, which is really weird. Logic, did you mean Souldyne? Yeah. John Williams, talk about garbage collection. Let's see, where did that go? Talk about garbage collection. The city of Madison has started to pick up all the leaves and yard waste Started to pick up all the leaves and yard waste, and they are starting odd and even parking rules. Oh, yeah, park on, if it's an odd day, you park on one side of the street or even on the other side, something like that. So the street sweepers can go through and the cleaners can go through, something like that, probably. Dennis says Hexona just finished catching up, also published first two of shorts on TikTok and YouTube. Nick Poverman gives us, okay, so here's, yes, and I saw this yesterday. I saw his LinkedIn yesterday. I guess I didn't bookmark it. What? Diane Chiang. Hi, Doug. 9:59 a.m. today. Oh, November 13th, a couple days ago. Thank you for being part of the LinkedIn community. We're so glad you're here. I'd like to offer you a 1-month free trial of premium. You know what? This came to me because I went and checked. This was 2 days ago, right? That we were talking about this stuff. So this document was 2 days ago. I went into LinkedIn to check up on this, and that shows you how long it's been since I've gone to LinkedIn. Just not my bag. And look at this. An acquaintance of mine from a long time ago. The only thing I have in here from messages was from November 19th, 2019, 4 years ago. Oh, in 4 days, that would be 4 years old. Yikes. Yes, I did see this, but yeah, what? So what? What does this tell me of any? He's an SSD technologist, works at a company. I'm not at all humiliated that I didn't know who he was. Costanza the Mage, I believe Alan did work in IT for the military before working for PC. Yeah. I saw a listing of where he's worked before. Hey, great, impressive, but still not a major public figure. Still out of sync, yes. Oh, Dennis says not out of sync. Watching back at 1.5 speed. I watched some of my video, I don't know, from yesterday or the day before, and it was out of sync on playback. Good day from Sin City, Nevada. Hope you're all well. From Jeff Ryman. Lawn Dog. Nice. Thanks for that lookup. I wanted to mention that when he was in the military, he worked on a nuclear submarine. He also has a high security clearances and also as an engineer through specifically, I don't know which type, but the dude is very smart. I wouldn't stretch it too far if given a problem he couldn't solve, but Duggan makes a point about what he does on a daily basis and what Alan does. But when he was at PC Per, they were always doing all kinds of things concerning PCs and electronics. Who knows what he was doing and how much of his talents he had to use. Did you see the part about being a network engineer? A network something is pretty serious stuff. Okay, yeah, but there's got to be tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of people who can show a similar resume. I can't because I'm not interested. If I was interested in pursuing that kind of career, I would have taken different directions earlier in my life. I love what I do. It's not nearly as impressive on a LinkedIn background or whatever like what he has. But, and I learned this a couple decades ago, there's a lot of the work that he did, I promise you, that was just drudgery, the same deep, impressive level tech, but over and over and over struggling with things, and it was routine day in and day out, and in his mind, nothing special. I promise you, people that work in very impressive fields and they work a significant amount of time and get very deep knowledge have points and maybe long points where it can be drudgery. If they love what they're doing, then it's not drudgery. I've heard and read from a lot of people, particularly in corporate IT, where they are part of a team and they are assigned tasks to do and they just hate their job, or it is drudgery, but they are deep into levels that I've never gotten to and I never will get to because I don't want to. I enjoy what I'm doing. Okay, then let's go on here. I don't know which type, but the dude is very smart. I wouldn't stretch it too far if given the I already read all Lawn Dog's things here. John Williams, what is wrong with the desktop computer on the counter? Aha! John Williams, Thank you. I did a clue a little while ago. I was talking about something else. I didn't talk about that at all. I pointed to it to see if anybody would ask about it. Now, if Tim Sowell were watching this right now, let's see, is Tim Sowell in chat? He would know what that computer is back here because he would recognize this is my airplane or was my airplane. I've sold it, a Cessna 172 with the end numbers. Oh, oh, how can I? How 669 eight? Oh, geez, no. Tail numbers. You never forget your tail number, except when you're live, unscripted, unrehearsed on a YouTube live stream. 6689 6. I don't. I close somewhere around there. Oh, that's gonna. Oh man, there are many people that would be seriously embarrassed for me, upset at me for not remembering my tail number. But anyway, it's my airplane. This is what I was doing with live stream. This is what I was doing live streams from before I got the Big Beast build. This was my computer. It was a custom built computer by a company over on the coast. I'm not going to try moving around right now because it's a really heavy computer. But I had given it to my grandson for his birthday and he at the football game, my grandson's football game, they had it in the car to give back to me, and I was talking to my daughter about the show here and about the training course that I'm working on. And she said, "Well, I got a tech story for you. I saw a computer that caught fire." And I said, "Oh, okay, tell me about it." And he says, "Well, Braden came running out of his room saying the computer's on fire. The computer's on fire." Christy went back in the room and she sees a curl of smoke coming up. And she says she looks through the side of the computer and she sees flames. And I said, "Really? Do you still have that computer?" And she says, "Yeah, it's in the car. It's the one you gave us." Meaning it's this computer. She saw flames inside the computer, tiny flames. She unplugged it and hadn't done anything with it. So I brought it back home with me and used the leaf blower to clean it out because it had a lot of dog hair in it. They got a dog that sheds a lot. I have not yet looked to see what's wrong with it. I have not plugged it in. Maybe that will be tomorrow. We might do that tomorrow. Open it up and get the close-up camera and get my light, and we'll look around to see if we can see what caught fire in it and decide what to do with it. So, John Williams, that's the desktop computer on the counter. Chit chat. Let's see. Lawn Dog's already read through that. No 23H2 on. Oh, yeah, that's right. On Baby Beast, that update was for 22H2. And 23H2 is available, but 22H2 is still in support. So it's not going to force me to go to 23H2 until 22H2 is almost out of support. I can volunteer to download and install 23H2, but I've told you before, I'm not a seeker. I'm not a test dummy. Those two, not a test dummy. Now, if you take away the word test, some people will go with the word dummy. But yeah, I mean, I don't mind installing it. I'm not afraid to install it. I just don't intentionally go out and install updates just because I can. But I don't argue against anyone who does do that. I've had enough experience with updates causing me trouble that if I'm having a problem with the computer, like I am with Big Beast build right now, but I think the problem is probably XSplit rather than the computer. But that would cause me want to go do an update like I did with NVIDIA yesterday, and that did not solve the problem. Greg M, you are here. Let's see. Gary says, go to nvmeexpress.org or go to IEEE for NAND, for the people who work hard on NAND storage. Yeah, I'm great. It's there. I don't have any reason or need. It's not important to the work that I do, but acknowledge, yeah, it's there. Oh, Wintermute has a LinkedIn for Ken Stout. Is that what Ken Stout meant to bring up his? Uh, yeah, there are some Doug Bettses out there that have more impressive resumes than I do. But Ken Stout, motorsports broadcaster and CEO at KSR Inc. Yeah, there's lots of Doug Bettses out there. I was surprised to find. And back when I was flying my airplane, I was making videos and publishing them of flying kids. We had a Young Eagles program where we would take kids for a free airplane flight, and I had 5 cameras mounted in my computer in my plane, and I would edit them and be able to switch camera angles and such, and it was a lot of fun. But anyway, I discovered that there's another Doug Betts pilot who publishes YouTube videos, including flying. I think he was flying kids. I'm not sure if he was flying kids, but he was Doug Betts. He was a pilot and publishing videos on YouTube. Ken Stout, you were doing so well, and now I have to choose my words better. Geez, and after such progress, baby steps. He is benchmarking. He is a benchmarking expert but not as a designer of SSD. Yeah, I did catch that. He knows SSDs a lot, but he's not a designer of them. Not an engineer. Not an engineer as in creating them. Solidigm was spun off from Intel. By the way, there was another person with great talent working with Alan, and that was Ryan Shrout. But given what's going on at Intel, they decided to cut the staff, and Ryan is looking for work. He's interested in starting a new company. I don't have any openings for him. Yeah, right. Daniel Emberley, short cable internet outage again today, several days in a row. Perhaps they are in the process of making system improvements. Wishful thinking. Zipline glitch. Zipline glitch. Oh, this is probably Fortnite. Yeah. All right. Let's get back to tech. John Williams, odd and even parking is for the street sweepers, and if we get loads of snow, easier cleanup, I think they should relax the rules when it is not snowing. Costanza, no one in IT knows everything. I've had some experiences that Doug has never experienced, and vice versa. Absolutely, and that was one of the foundational concepts, reasons why I want to do this YouTube channel. You know, the thought occurred to me, man, am I just going to embarrass myself left and right because I'll say wrong things, and people in the chat room or on comments will say, "You dummy, don't you know that?" No, there's more stuff that I don't know about IT than what I do know. I mean, the stuff that I do know and the stuff that I don't know, I think I need to blast through the ceiling a bit because it's a huge, big industry. And when I came to realize, well, hey, that's the same for everybody. Everybody knows their bailiwick and not a lot else. And I thought, well, you know what? I could learn a whole lot more outside of the realm that I'm involved in by interacting with people through YouTube. So that sounds like a good thing to do. Let's try that. And maybe we can make some money at it eventually. I love going after deadbeat clients who are 6 weeks behind paying their invoices. Oh man, I hate that. I am so bad at collections. And I just had that recently with a client. Let's see, how did this go? The client asked me for, oh yeah. So I just recently sent an invoice. I knew that a check came in from them, and I was at their office, and she said, I haven't received an invoice from you for this work that you did last week. And I pointed out to her, hey, I only send invoices about once every 3 months. Well, she's going to relocate and start working remotely from Mexico in December. So she said, well, can you send me another invoice before I leave, so I can be sure to get you paid before going away? So I said, sure. So I went to make myself some reminders, set up a reminder so that I would remind me to do that. And what I found is that caused me to go look up their account. And I found that there was an invoice from 2020 that was unpaid. There was an invoice from 2021 that was unpaid. There was an invoice from earlier in 2023 that was unpaid. Not only do I not go after deadbeat clients who are 6 weeks behind in paying their invoices, I don't even I don't even catch them when they haven't made payments. Now, typically what would happen is when a check comes in, which they recently have a check, it's on my desk. When I go to post that payment, then I will see the unpaid invoices and send a reminder to them. Well, why didn't I already send a reminder to them about the 2020 invoice and the 2021 invoice? Well, that's because it was only about 6 to 8 months ago that I got my process figured out for how to catch an unpaid invoice. So I told her that the next day that I saw her, and she said, "Well, just send them to me." Well, I was on the phone with her. She said, "Just resend them to me." I did, and I've got my USPS email came in this morning saying that check is arriving today. She already told me they sent one check to cover all three of those invoices. No big deal, not a problem, and nobody's sweating it. I don't know. Doug, let's not beat Alan's career to the ground. He's just a person doing the job. He's a particular specialty, but you're absolutely right. To me, it's kind of boring job, repetitive. It's kind of a boring job, very repetitive. Lots of jobs are. Not mine. Mine's new every day. Testing storage media over and over and over. That can kind of be boring if it's an engineer on physics level possibility. Kerry Weisenberg, a great bit of information. Let's see, I was skipped over some because I was trying to read Lon Doug's multiple paragraph. Let's see, there's another piece about the behind and paying invoices. Something else that triggered a memory for me, and now as I'm trying to remember that, I just remembered something else. I'm not going to go on to that because I'm already over time. Let's move on. F1 prices are dropping. You might be able to attend in person. I will allow you to miss the homies that night. Okay. Drudgery, sort of like this live stream. Oh no, here comes Forgetful Doug. NCC 1701. That's Enterprise. It said Jeff Fryman to Ken, if they pay me to watch, I might do it. Any live today for Ken? All right, stop reading, Doug. Just scan through. 6988 X-ray. November 6988 X-ray. Lon Doug's can't remember the plane's tail number. When I'm not trying to remember it, it's easy. 6988 X-ray. And it was nobody ever really made the joke about why a couple of the numbers are special. 6988 X-ray. I remember CompuServe's 75216,3210 phone number. Phone number. Is that a phone number? When I was a kid, I can quote that. Can I remember what happened yesterday or videos I watched? Heck no. That number pattern, 5 digits, comma 4 digits, somehow is similar, but it's not a phone number. 4 digits there, 3 digits there. 75 is not an area code. I don't get that. You sold your plane, got a new one. No, I sold my plane because I wanted to start doing YouTube videos. And as long as I started trying to do YouTube videos while I still had the plane and was still actively involved in aviation. I just couldn't make the time. So I quit my role with FAA. I was running recurrent trainings for flight instructors, hosting them. I was president of my EA chapter. I was vice president or something other of the CBAA. And I quit them all. Cold turkey, sold my airplane, and determined that I needed to come in both to my business and my family, and YouTube is what I wanted to focus on. Tim Sal knows that story because he was kind of involved. Ken says, wow, Doug knew that number. Good job. How many times have I reported Cessna 6988 X-ray entering the pattern on downwind or whatever? You say that over and over and over. All right, I'm going to shut down now. As I saw another YouTuber with saying that they're approaching the end of their show, and they said as they have a certain way of ending every time, and I realized, well, I have a certain way of ending also, is that it's unpredictable.